Right, well, welcome to video 1 of the Snowflake Splendor Lily Pad Stamp Club. And I'm really looking forward to this one because this is they've all been lovely kits, but this is such a lovely kit. So let's start off by having a little look at what we're going to be using over the next 4 weeks. So we'll look at the colours and the things that are in the kit. These are the things that are all going into my basket. What happens when I'm doing a Lily Pad Stamp Club is all the time I'm doing videos and designing projects and things, I have a basket sitting under my desk with all of the bits in. So these are all the bits that are going into the basket for this Lily Pad Stamp Club. So we've got cardstock and ink in the colours that are suggested in the catalogue, and we vary from that slightly, but in the main I tend to try and stick to the colours that are in the catalogue because those are the colours that go with your papers if you've got your papers. So we have got some Pool Party, some Coastal Cabana, some Highland Heather, some Balmy Blue, some Pacific Point, some Misty Moonlight and some Night of Navy, and we've got that in cardstock and we've got that in inks, and of course we'll be adding in some white and neutral sort of colours as well, but those are our cardstock and inks that we that come with this suite as the colourway goes with the paper. We've got a fabulous embossing folder just there. I'm going to leave that to one side because I'm going to be using that. We have the So Many Snowflakes die set, and there are 8 dies in here. So we've got these 3 that are a detailed, sorry, let's go again, these 3 that are a detailed die that just cuts out, not just because they're beautiful, that cuts out some beautiful little detailed dies for you. We've got this one here that actually cuts into the cardstock, so if you have a look carefully at these 2 dies, you can see that this one's got lines going all the way outside, which means that that one's going to cut a snowflake out from your card. If you look at this one, you've just got the patterns that have got the lines around the outside. That's going to cut those patterns into your cardstock, so that will give you a snowflake shaped aperture. And then we've got these 3 snowflakes here that are going to cut out some of your snowflakes from your stamp set. And then if we turn over, we have this sort of label die here with these snowflake elements on it. So that's also very beautiful. In fact, somewhere I think I've got one that I have just die cut, not done anything with, but it'll give you an idea of what that label looks like. So you've got the stitch detail around the outside there with these sort of die cuts, these snowflakes cut into it to give you this label with these snowflakes. Really pretty. So that's your dies, and then you've got the Snowflake Wishes stamp set that's got all of these stamps on. And they do have, if you have a look carefully at the pictures on your stamps, you'll see that they're not a solid image on your stamp just here, because it does give you this watercolory sort of effect that's intentional. So you've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 snowflakes here, another one there, 9, and then you've got these little splatterings of snowflakes, and then you've got some really nice greetings. Snowflake wishes for a Merry Christmas, our friendship is one of a kind, obviously just like a snowflake. In the coldest moments of the year, my heart is warm because you're near. You have also got a Happy Hanukkah in there. So if you do have any Jewish friends who are celebrating Hanukkah, you do have a greetings there, and obviously you could use those snowflakes because they're not in any way sort of connected to any faith really. It's just they're just really beautiful. We've got some Snowflake Splendor ribbon here. This is quite a sort of holographic-y type ribbon, really pretty. We've got these blue adhesive back gems, so you get a paler one that doesn't show up very well on camera really. You've got one that's slightly darker than the other, and they do have this sort of holographic effect to them, but these ones are that they've got a slightly darker base on them. In fact, if I turn them over, you'll see what I mean. So these have got a sort of like a Night of Navy base to them, where these have got more of a almost turquoisey balmy blue base to them, so that it shines through differently on the front. We've got some balmy blue glimmer paper. This is beautiful, die cuts beautifully. This is the sort of thing that you could have peeping out from underneath that die that is inlaid into your card. Really beautiful. And then we have the papers. So let's have a quick look at the papers. As always, you get 12 sheets, 2 each of 6 different designs, double-sided papers. So on this side you have these nice big bold snowflakes, really lovely, sort of bit of an ombre effect going on. This one you can really see that sort of watercolory effect on those snowflakes. Again, quite ombre, sort of goes from dark to light. Lovely background. And then if we flip them over, you have some fabulous black background effects going on. So there's obviously, as they were creating these papers, because what they do is they create the papers, they watercolor them, they do whatever they need to do. They've obviously inked this, spritzed it and scattered it with salt, and you can see this salt effect just here. So they've created these fabulous backgrounds so that you don't have to if you don't want to, but obviously you can also use them as inspiration. That one looks like it's been spritzed with different colours. This again, you can really see that salt effect just there. So to create this sort of effect, you just need to ink your background, spritz it, scatter it with rock salt, and leave it to dry, and the salt will take the colour out of the background in these sorts of ways. You can just use ordinary salt, but rock salt gives you bigger impact. And here again you can see the different colours. That's obviously been spritzed and sponged. Gorgeous background papers. That one looks sort of almost space, doesn't it? Quite sort of stellar. There we are, and that one's got lots of lovely snowflakes on. So really, really gorgeous papers. We're going to have fun with those. So that is our kit. What we normally do for our first card is to try and create something a little bit sort of quick and easy, something to get us underway. So I'm going to take, I've got a piece of, so I've got some of the DSP there, so it's this one that's sort of got shades of the balmy blue and a bit of Highland heather going on there. Got a piece of thick whisper white to make us a card base. So let's start. In fact, I think I'm going to make this a hot dog style card, I think. So I'm going to take this piece of card and I'm actually going to score it at about 14.9, and I'm going to turn it round and I'm going to cut it at 10.5, and then I'm going to fold it like this, and I really must replace my blade in my trimmer. So it's hot dog because it's sort of long and thin. Right, so we've got our card base just there. I'm going to take this piece of DSP, and I think my trimmer will cope with this. I think it's because so I'm trying to decide what bit I want. I'm going to cut a panel of this that is, I'm going to make it 6 centimetres wide. I want some Highland heather in it. I'm going to make it 13.9 long. So that's quite nice. So I've got this sort of Highland heather piece just here and some Highland heather splatters just there. All good fun. It's good inspiration for how you can actually create backgrounds. from scratch. I'm now going to come in and I'm going to cut this piece of card at 14.4, and this was 6, so I'm going to make this 6.5 because I want that to sit on there. I'm going to take this balmy blue piece of card, I'm going to cut it at 10 centimetres, swing it round and cut it at 14.4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss that with our embossing folder. We'll make this a snowflakey piece of card. So it is not a 3D embossing folder, it is just a standard embossing folder. So let's sit that in there. I'm going to run that through my machine. So because it is a standard embossing folder, I just need to take out my plate 2 or a thin die adapter, whatever machine you've got. I'm just having my base plate and my 2 acrylic plates, which seem to have little bits of card all over them, right, like that. We'll run that through the machine. Oh, got everything going on. Pop my embossing folder in my basket so it doesn't get lost. So we're going to have our embossed snowflakes in the background there. Such a pretty folder, and I'm sure we'll be coming back to play with that quite a bit. We're going to have our paper panel on the top. But now I want to add some detail to that paper. I'm just going to take my stamps and let's see, I think we'll have some Highland Heather. There we go, Misty Moonlight. And that's Coastal Cabana. So I'm going to take my piece of paper. Ooh, what snowflakes shall we have? So much decision. I like this one. It's not a huge bit of paper, so I might not go for the... might have that one. That's a pretty one, isn't it? Let's have that one. And then... actually what I might do then is take some of these sort of smaller snowflakes, sort of almost the splattering of smaller snowflakes. Is that going to fit on there? Yes, I do believe it is. And we've got those 2 snowflakes and then a splattering of snowflakes. We are photopolymer, so I'm going to take a sponge mat. What I'm also going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of scrap paper just here, just so that if it goes off the edge of the paper onto the mat, we're not then picking it back up again on our paper. So let's sit that on there. So let's go this one with Coastal Cabana, and I think we'll have one just there and one coming in down there. Let's take this Misty Moonlight actually much darker. Might need a bit more, we'll see. And then I'm going to get the Highland Heather and a little stamp, and let's just turn that round a bit actually, and just like that, I think. So there we are, we've got that beautiful background that we then just stamped some of our snowflakes on top. Let's move out, these are out the way for now. Bring this back in. And what shall we have? May your season sparkle. Let's find a little piece of Whisper White. Just rummaging around in my oddments of card. And ooh, what colour to go? I think I'm going to stick with the Highland Heather because that's tended to be our accent colour in this card. Let's trim this up. Oh, I did just make that. I thought I'd made that too short. So we've made that 3.3 by 6.6. So let's make this 3.8 by 7.1. And let's stick some of these bits together. So I'm going to stick my greeting to its mat. Let's stick our stamped DSP to a mat. just take this mat here and stick it in place on this mat here. So we've got a bit of a border of snowflake that side and a wider border of snowflake the other side. I'm going to cut some of this. You could stick this in place with tape. I've just used my stamping seal. Right, so now that we've stuck that in place, I'm going to go ahead and stick this mat in place. Or not. That's better. I'm going to lift this up on some dimensionals. So let's put some top and bottom so it sort of straddles that ribbon. Like that. Thread that through there. Obviously, if you haven't got any of this ribbon, you could use a different ribbon. You could miss your ribbon off altogether. Let's take my ribbon scissors and just trim those ends. And then let's just add in, I'm going to take the paler ones, I think, and we'll add in just a little bit of sparkle. We'll have a bigger one down there. So there we are. Obviously you can go on and perhaps stamp a snowflake on the inside there, or what might be quite nice is the little, let's have some, oh, that didn't quite go, there we go. You'd obviously take more care than I did. Let's have some snowflakes inside. So there is a really quick and easy card to create. That's used your embossing folder, that's used some of your DSP that you've stamped. Obviously if you were multi-make, if you were batch making these, you could take a bigger piece of DSP, stamp lots of snowflakes on it and then cut it into however many strips you want. But there you go. May your season sparkle. So that's video 1. I look forward to seeing you very soon in our next video.